I think the short answer to this question is because it simply is matter. Matter is composed of energy. That's the short conceptual answer. But why does it matter for our conversation? It matters because at this moment, when you're listening and watching this, I don't know what you're doing with this and where you are, the energy in your body is tremendously shifting and transforming the way you perceive the information I'm sharing with you. And that happens in every meeting, every conversation, at all times. The more we are able to connect and relate and be informed and have almost like access, when we access to various colors of a rainbow and all the nuances of colors, the more we are able to have access to various nuances of energy, the more we're able to create impact both ways. And that's the conceptual aspect of it. But what does it mean in real life? Whether you are at a Christmas dinner with your in-laws, or you are at a business meetings with your micromanaging boss, or you are at a board meeting where you're pitching a big project as a CEO. The quality of the energy is going to tremendously influence of everybody in the room, is going to tremendously influence the outcome of the meeting for you as an individual, but for everybody as a collective. And that's what matters for me when I work with you or when we're in conversation. Because what we are after is to really engage, invite an energy which has a capacity to change and to materialize your vision. So if you come out of a big meetings, of a big drinking meeting or dinner the day before, the quality of your sleep is going to be severely impacted. And therefore, the next day, you will have more difficulty to lift yourself and to generate ideas and to come from a light and engaging and motivating space. Similarly, if you had a difficult conversation with your boss or with your peer because of some difficult negotiation you're going through, if you haven't learned to recover to your center, to be able to have access to this energy we talked about a little bit earlier quickly, it's going to be very hard for you to be fully present in this specific meeting. The quality of those meetings and the quality of a year is the compound effect of those meetings across the organization. So when you manage to pay attention to your energy on every one of those meetings and recover to your higher quality of energy, then you shift the trajectory of your organization and of course your career, but that's beside the point at this stage. And when people around the table are doing the same thing, then we as a team are much more able to succeed, which is what we see on the football field or on the basketball team or any other team sport. When everybody is able to cultivate the right ecosystem for the team and for themselves, then the impact is tremendous. I've seen it every single time in very fast-growing organizations who don't have the luxury of time and sometimes don't have the luxury of budget. And I've seen that in very rich companies which are sometimes moving at much slower pace. The quality of energy is always changing the outcome, because we can have great ideas, but actually it doesn't matter. What matters is our capacity to execute, recover, pivot, come back, and do it again. Having the idea, execute, get a feedback, pivot if necessary, or continue and do it again and again and again. And the compounding effect of those various moments, I would say, is going to generate the impact you have as a group. Of course, we see that in our everyday life, in family life, which we often take a space where things are more difficult to manage when we go back to mommy and daddy, or we go back to all those people who are very good at triggering us. Suddenly we become a victim, or the other way around, because that's a space where we pay less attention. And I don't believe that we should pay less attention in those relationships. I think we could simply allow ourselves to create what we want, take responsibility in those places as well. Because when you take responsibility and you offer an energy which is maybe a bit more inclusive, a bit more forgiving, then you create a very different outcome. And that's true for family life, it's true for friendships, and it's true for organizational life. And let me add one more point, because finally, I think that maybe the most important one. Let's see what you think about that. We're talking about energy because ultimately, everything we do is a fruit. Everything we do is a result of that energy. Like in nature, the quality of the soil is going to determine the quality of the tree, which is going to determine the quality of the fruit. The weather, all of this is helpful. But the quality of the energy of all these elements is what's going to generate the fruit. And as an organization, as a team, as a leader, the quality of your energy is the soil. Everything else is fruit, 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 and fruit. Some of those fruits are good for cooking, good for eating. Some of those fruits are good to be let go, are good to drop and completely be let go. So the more we pay attention to the quality of our energy, the more we can trust that the fruit we're going to choose to eat or choose to share are the good ones. Thank you for listening.